Every World Cup draw creates one group that nobody wants. Not always the official group of death. That phrase gets thrown around too easily. Sometimes it just means two big teams and a lot of lazy panic. But Group I in 2026 is different. France, Senegal, Norway, Iraq. At first, it does not look like chaos. France are France, two-time world champions, finalists in 2022, winners in 2018, one of the deepest football nations on earth. So the easy read is simple. France should win the group. Everyone else fights behind them. But that is exactly why this group is dangerous, because every team in it has a different reason to think the draw is unfair. France look at Senegal and see a team that is no longer a nice African story. Senegal have already been to a World Cup quarter-final. They came out of their group in 2022. They have elite players, tournament experience, and a football identity that does not apologize for itself. Senegal look at France and see a giant, but also a giant with pressure. France cannot simply survive this group. They are expected to control it. Norway look at the group and see the World Cup return they waited 28 years for, only to find France and Senegal standing in front of them. And Iraq look at all of them and see the cruelest version of a comeback. After 40 years away from the World Cup, their reward is France, Senegal, and Haaland's Norway. That is why this group works as a story. It is not just hard, it is personal from every angle. The group opens on June 16 with France against Senegal in New York, New Jersey. That match alone could carry a video, because France against Senegal is never just a football fixture. It sits on top of history, migration, identity, colonial memory, and the complicated football relationship between Europe and Africa. France have built some of the greatest teams in modern World Cup history, with players whose family stories stretch across Africa, the Caribbean, and Europe. Senegal, meanwhile, has spent the last 25 years turning African football from a sentimental category into a serious tournament force. In 2002, Senegal announced themselves by beating France in the opening game of the World Cup. That was not just a result, it was a rupture. The defending world champions lost to a debutant African side, and suddenly the old hierarchy did not look as stable as it had the day before. Since then, Senegal have become one of the most consistent African football projects. They reached the quarterfinals in 2002. They returned to the knockouts in 2022. They won Africa. They built a team with stars, structure, and a belief that they belong in these conversations. So when France open against Senegal in 2026, it is not a soft first match. It is a warning. A favorite can lose control of a tournament in one game. That same day, Iraq play Norway in Boston, and that might be the most fascinating match in the group. Not because it is the biggest, because it is the one that can quietly decide everything. Norway are back at the World Cup for the first time since 1998. That sentence sounds nostalgic until you remember who they bring with them. Erling Haaland. For years, one of the strangest facts in international football was that the best striker in the world had never played at a World Cup. That was not because he was injured or unlucky for one tournament or waiting his turn. It was because Norway simply could not get there. Now they have. FIFA's own qualification profile frames it clearly. Norway are returning after 28 years away, making their fourth World Cup appearance. They are not arriving as a historic superpower. They are arriving as a team with a generational striker, a real supporting cast, and the danger of a country that no heavyweight wants to meet early. That makes Norway dangerous in a very specific way. They do not need to dominate the ball for 90 minutes to ruin a favorites tournament. They need one transition, one cross, one mistake, one moment where the game becomes exactly the shape Haaland wants. But Iraq are not just there to be Norway's opening scene. Iraq's story is heavier than that. They last played at a World Cup in 1986. For 40 years, they were outside the tournament. Entire generations of Iraqi fans grew up with the World Cup as something they watched other countries experience. Then came this qualifying cycle. Long, messy, emotionally exhausting, and finally successful. FIFA's Iraq profile traces a football country with deep history and one previous finals appearance. The 2026 tournament is their return. That gives Iraq a dangerous kind of freedom. They do not have France's pressure. They do not have Norway's global superstar. They do not have Senegal's recent World Cup proof, but they have something every tournament favorite hates: a team with nothing casual about being there. Iraq will not treat this group stage as an inconvenience. They waited 40 years for these matches. That is why the first round of games matters so much. If France beats Senegal and Norway beat Iraq, the group starts to look normal. France top, Norway chase, Senegal fight back. Iraq suffer. But if Senegal takes something from France, the entire group tilts. If Iraq takes something from Norway, Haaland's first World Cup suddenly starts with pressure instead of celebration. And if both happen, Group I becomes the group that eats assumptions. The second round only makes it tighter. France face Iraq. Norway face Senegal. Those are not just fixtures. They are collisions between different kinds of football pressure. France against Iraq is the old tournament power against the returning nation. Norway against Senegal is a test of whether a team built around one terrifying striker can solve a side that has learned how to survive World Cup football. By the time the final round arrives, Norway play France in Boston and Senegal play Iraq in Toronto. That is when the group could become ugly, because France do not want to need a result against Haaland. Norway do not want to discover that the group depends on stopping France. Senegal do not want their tournament to hinge on a desperate Iraq. And Iraq do not want to reach the final match with the whole group treating them as the team to beat for goal difference. This is the real danger of Group I. It does not need one shocking upset to become interesting. It only needs one early draw, one favorite held, one striker kept quiet, one returning nation refusing to behave like a fourth seed. Then every match after it starts to carry consequences. The expanded World Cup makes this even stranger. In the old 32-team format, a group like this could feel brutally simple. 2 teams survive, 2 go home. In the 48-team version, the best third-place teams can also advance. That changes the psychology. Teams are not only trying to win the group, they're trying to manage risk, goal difference, fatigue, and the possibility that one bad day does not kill them, but 2 cautious days might. That is why Group I feels modern. It is not just a group of death, it is a group of pressure. France are too good to relax, Senegal are too proven to dismiss, Norway are too dangerous to control, Iraq are too motivated to treat as filler, and that is the perfect World Cup trap. The group does not scream at you at first, it waits. It lets you assume the favorite will be fine. It lets you talk about France's depth, Senegal's physicality, Haaland's finishing, Iraq's comeback. Then the whistle blows, and suddenly all 4 teams are asking the same question. Why did we have to land here? 1. Cold open, group nobody wanted, not lazy, group of death, 0 to PL 50. 2. Why France are not safe by default, 0 to 50 to 150. 3. France v Senegal as history and hierarchy, 150 to 320. 4. Norway's 28-year return and Haaland's World Cup arrival, 320 to 445. Iraq's 40-year return and pressure-free danger, 445 to 610. 6. Fixture logic, how one draw breaks the group open, 610 to 740. 7. Expanded format psychology and final payoff, 740 to 845.